Okay, we're live.
Is it ready? This meeting of the City of Frostburg is called to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment.
We are thankful for this special community, for the time we share together, and the bounty of our nation. We are thankful for the commitment of our people who volunteer their time and talents to make our community a better place to live, work, and raise a family. We know that we alone cannot meet the challenges or provide sufficient inspiration without community involvement and the dedication of all concerned to the greater good of the city and all who reside in it. We are thankful for the beauty, the time, and the place that is Frostburg. Amen.
All right, be seated, please. Okay, we'll have call the roll, please.
Yes. Commissioner Carter.
Here.
Commissioner Forsyth.
Here.
Commissioner Grove.
Here.
Commissioner Ritchie.
Here.
And Mayor Logsdon.
Present. All right, next item 5 on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Entertain a motion for that.
I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
Duly moved and seconded to approve tonight's agenda. Discussion among council on that. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Agenda is approved. Moving on then to item 6A, which is minutes from the February 18th council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Duly moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the February 18th council meeting. Discussion on that. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Minutes are approved. 6B, the summary of minutes from the closed session that was held last week on March 11th.
I'll make a motion to approve the summary of the minutes.
Second.
Duly moved and seconded to approve the summary of the minutes from the closed session on March 11th. Discussion among council on that. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Minutes of that session are also approved. Moving on to item 7, which is the monthly reports of the city departments. Mrs. Jones.
Good evening. For my monthly report this month, I'd like to do some highlights regarding the city's draft budget for fiscal year 2026. So as you are well aware, staff and mayor and council, we have been working together to work through the budget process in preparation for the presentation of the budget ordinance at your meeting next month. Many specific budget items were discussed at the work session last week, and the public may view those documents that were presented at the work session on the city's public meeting portal that's linked from the city's website at frostburgcity.org. Frostburg has several ongoing budget priorities. Those priorities include maintaining the level of services to the community, having safe drinking water, reliable sanitation, good streets and sidewalks, retaining professional and capable staff, and focusing on solvency and affordability. Those were the stated objectives of the mayor and council in previous years, and we continue to uphold those objectives. The city continues to strive to be good stewards of the resources that have been entrusted to us by its citizens, and we value the input of the citizens in this budget process. The draft operating budget, which was presented at the work session, encompasses the corporate, water, sewer, water surcharge, and garbage funds. The draft budget reflects all the departmental requests for fiscal year 2026. However, we fully recognize that all the requests will be unable to be granted, and we will be working together to streamline and reduce the budget to present a balanced budget ordinance next month. I will not repeat all the discussion items from the work session, but I would like to highlight a few of the items for the benefit of the public. The city has reaped the benefits of the ARPA funding since the initial payment was received by the city in July of 2021. The city has used this unprecedented funding to make significant investments in city infrastructure and complete many priority projects. In fiscal year 26, the remaining ARPA funding has been obligated towards a plow truck, a street sweeper, a portion of the design costs for the roundabout project, and a portion of the CSO Phase 10A project. Use of the ARPA funding appears in the draft budget line items that are titled Special Revenue. The corporate fund accounts for most of the general government services of the city of Frostburg, and the main source of revenue to provide these essential services comes from real estate tax revenue. The draft budget for real estate tax revenue is based on the city maintaining the current real estate tax rate of 70 cents per $100 of assessed value. This will be the 5th year that the city has held this real estate tax rate. While property owners have likely seen an increase in the value of their property through increased assessments over these past 5 years, the city has not increased the real estate tax rate. The constant yield tax rate, according to the Department of Assessments for this year, would be 66.39 cents per $100 of assessed value. The water, sewer, water surcharge, and garbage funds must operate similar to a private business, and that the revenues of these funds must support the expenses to provide these services. These revenues primarily come from user fees and from grants. Real estate tax revenue does not support the water, sewer, water surcharge, or garbage operations. The draft budget is developed based on the city maintaining the current rates and fees for water, sewer, water surcharge, and the CSO surcharge. I have recommended that the mayor and council consider an increase to the garbage rate of $2 per month for residential garbage collection. That would be approximately 50 cents per week to have weekly garbage collection. Without a rate increase, the garbage fund would operate at a loss based on estimated expenses for the next fiscal year. As I mentioned previously, the details of the draft budget are available online through the city's website, and the draft schedule of municipal fees is also available online. I'll be happy to address questions regarding the draft budget this evening during the open public comment portion of the meeting, or I'm also available in person here at City Hall Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, or by email to discuss any questions that citizens have regarding the finances of the city. Lastly, I would like to publicly recognize Deborah Heath, who will be retiring from the Finance Department on March 28th after almost 16 years of service to the city. For individuals who call City Hall or come in person to pay their bills or ask questions, Deborah has been the first staff member that most individuals interact with. I'm very thankful for her dedicated service and would like to encourage the public, staff, and the mayor and council to congratulate her on her retirement next week. That will conclude my report.
I do have one question. The obligated ARPA funds, they are in our bank account, right?
That is correct.
So they won't be able to be clawed back.
We have to continue reporting on the use of the ARPA funds. The reporting year ends March 31st, so we have a report due the end of April, and then we have to continue reporting until all the funds have been expended. If we do not expend the funds by December of 2026, then the funds would have to be returned. But we fully anticipate
I'm
having
just thinking,
all
the
those
way
things
things are
spent.
going now, whatever the rules are don't seem to apply, so the faster we spend them, the better.
Well, and we did have to have all those items obligated by December of 2024, so we have those
Yeah.
orders placed, contracts made. It's just a matter of getting delivery, of
Yeah,
these
let's get
specific
that delivery
items.
sooner rather than later.
Yes, this was unusual in that we got the money up front. Most of the grants that we work with,
Right,
we have to submit reimbursement requests.
right. Good for that.
Thank you for your report, also especially for recognizing Deborah when you do
Yeah.
it. Yeah. What are we gonna do without her? Holy cow. All right,
Have to clone her.
Ms. Fife, would you like to go next?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. So I've got a little highlight reel, as I do every month, from the Community Development Department. On the permit side of things, we issued 5 building and business permits in the month of February, 2 burning permits, and 2 projects received a certificate of appropriateness or an administrative approval from the Historic District Commission. It was a busy month for code enforcement. There were 13 new code enforcement cases opened in the month of February, but 9 of those were resolved by the end of the reporting period. 4 citations were issued, and on February 12th, the code enforcement officer attended a court hearing for a property that I've mentioned at these meetings before for unpaid citations for exterior property maintenance issues. The defendant did not show up, so the fines were doubled. That was the first time that Jay has been to court in his role, so we're very proud of him for success. And then I just wanted to give you all just some quick updates on the various projects that I personally am working on. The rental housing program revamp. Staff has developed a survey for rental property owners and owners agents, which is expected to be released probably in the next week or so. The code enforcement officer has begun his trainings to obtain his rental housing inspector certification. And we've also started the process of upgrading our iWork software to phase out the licensing module and go to the new rental housing module, which I really think we've been through 4 trainings so far, and I can already tell that it's going to be night and day. So we're really excited about that. The comprehensive plan rewrite. The community survey was launched on February 28th. That will remain open until the end of March. We've been posting a lot about it on the city's Facebook page. We have an article running in the Cumberland Times News on the Frostburg community page, and I expect that we'll have a more all-encompassing article coming out soon. So that's where we are with comprehensive plan. The edible arboretum enhancements that we got the grant for, we're still awaiting our payout from Sustainable Maryland so that we can get started on that. Their system experienced a little bit of a hiccup, so that delayed the payout of our grant funds. So once the funds are dispersed, we'll be getting in touch with the local landscaping company to start the process of getting plants in the ground. North Water Street Townhouse Project, still waiting to get that back from the state's legal team. I did hear an update this morning, but we're waiting on a document from Michael Cohen in order to get that wrapped up. So once we get that, we'll be moving forward in earnest, putting that out to bid. The Glendenning Signage Project, that's another project that I received grant funding for last year. We've received several mock-ups for the signage from the designer, and we expect to see those go into production within the next month or 2. And then finally, the stabilization grant program that I'm working on in collaboration with Allegheny County Economic Development. They're in the same boat we are with funds being, everything's still illegal with the state. So just wanted to give you those brief updates. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lindsay?
Yeah, so I'll take over for the public works side of the monthly reports. Within the street department, it's mostly business as usual. We've begun street sweeping, we've begun our spring concrete work, which is usually catch basins and curbs, and then we will begin asphalt patching and asphalt work with our own crews next week. We anticipate all the asphalt plants to be open next week so we can shop around for prices. In the water department, really only one major leak near the nursing home off of water, and we will begin fire hydrant flushing probably in the next 2 weeks. In the Parks and Rec department, the new playground is going in. I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. We're gearing up.
Video up.
Yeah. We're gearing up for the fast and furious season for Parks and Rec with all the grass cutting and plantings and landscaping. But for now, it's playgrounds and mulch and getting things ready to go. In the public works side of things, obviously our CSO projects are starting again. We'll talk about that in the public hearing there. We have pretty well finalized everything with the food pantry. We're still closing some funding gaps, but we anticipate being able to start that in the late spring, early summer. The next phase of the forest management plan at Piney Reservoir has just wrapped up. That was a crop tree release that was just completed on tract number 27. The roundabout project, we are completed design. We are now circling back with State Highway and finalizing things there, going through the federal and state highway approval processes to get that project going this fall so that the bulk of the construction can happen in the spring and summer of 2026. For our spring projects in the public works realm, we are taking on some different catch basin work and some tree work, kind of things that are out of the realm of our departments to do, whether they be on private property or on City of Frostburg public property that overhangs private property. And then we are moving ahead with the next phase of the well at Piney project through Triad Engineering, which will be the grant application phase to get the money lined up so that then we can go back to the engineer and say you can finish designing this and drilling test wells. And then finally, We've done some testimony in Annapolis on behalf of the city of Cumberland, actually, for the sake of their sewage treatment related to PFAS and PFOA. That would have an effect on our ratepayers. So that is the Public Works report. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Do you know what the funding gap is for the food pantry?
It's in the realm of $8,000, I believe. Yeah, we've been fortunate, and we've got some contractors that actually donate labor, which has helped out. So, yep.
So that's gonna make considerable progress
Mhm.
then on that fund.
Yeah.
Good. And you said lot 27
Ye-
at
Yes, so we have, I'll have to double check with you on that tract number. I believe that is the tract that we just did a crop tree release on, but I can follow up with you on which one that is.
Okay.
Yep. Basically just thinning out the low value timber that's under 2.5 inches. Yep.
Somebody's using that for something, or?
The stuff that's sizable enough goes to firewood, and the rest gets laid on the ground for habitat.
Very good. Anything else? Okay, typically in the past, we've always special ordered the police report to the end of the meeting, but we decided to stop doing that, and we're going to incorporate the police department's report with the other departments. So, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Good evening. I have the report for the Police Department for February 2025. Fairly light report. This month we had 563 incidents logged, pretty similar to the February before in 2023 where we had 669 incidents. We had 6 arrests, which is a bit lighter than we see other months, so perhaps that's a good thing, less crime. We had various parking violations, community policing activity, 2 C3I cases, 15 well-being checks, 18 assist other agencies, 27 requests for a police officer, 29 disturbances of various sorts, and 136 traffic stops. So pretty much business as usual throughout February. Things we've been doing and have coming up are some traffic enforcement grants from the Maryland Highway Safety Office. In February, we had one for distracted driving, basically cell phone use primarily, and we've since been doing DUI enforcement under those grants. So we have another DUI, I think it's a DUI one coming up here pretty soon, and we are getting ready for a 2-event Saturday, the annual Allegheny County Law Enforcement basketball tournaments taking place, which includes the local police agencies as well as other criminal justice agencies. That'll be Saturday from 5 p. to 8 p. at Allegheny High School. Our own PFC Ellsworth, our school resource officer, is leading the Frostburg Police Department team, and thank goodness he's on the team. He's a great player, so he makes it shine, and it's all in good fun. The guys have a good time, and it's for a good charitable cause. Guys and gals have a good time. And also Saturday, as we know, is the Shamrock Shuffle, so the organizers have contacted me, which I greatly appreciated. We'll be prepared for that. We'll have extra officers working. And we just encourage everyone to be safe and responsible and hope for a nice event. So that would conclude my report, unless you have any questions or would like me to elaborate further.
I don't have any questions, but just an observation that
Sure.
I made. I think this is at least the 3rd month, maybe the 4th month, that the year-over-year incident report has been substantially lower. Which is,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's a
Yeah.
good thing. Like you said, it's fewer interactions with law enforcement, which I guess is a good thing. But I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I could frankly nerd out all day over crime data and law enforcement statistics. I practiced it and experienced it for a long time, but studied it in school and that sort of thing. And it can really vary. I think the main thing with numbers is you try to track an officer's committed time, or to some extent a PCO's committed time. And the numbers are very, they can have different weight to them. Like you can have one incident, for example, that's relatively common is an unattended death. I mean, not necessarily any foul play, but someone's passed away at home. So you could have one incident for an unattended death that an officer's there for 6 hours to speak to neighbors, speak to family, talk to the medical examiner, wait for the transport. You can have other incidents that are patrol checks at Pritchard Farms or Glendinning Park that take 5 minutes, to run through. So I've tried, actually, when we sort of redesigned a little bit certain components of the monthly report a while back. So we have the general total number, just every incident logged of any sort, big or small. I try to focus a little bit on substantive things. How many arrests did we have? How many community policing activities did we log? How many traffic stops did we have? And actually, over time, one of the things I tried to add in specifically was so much of law enforcement now is mental health, well-being, being a community resource. So more than the crime that was always historically tracked, we want to track like the well-being checks, requests for a police officer, follow-ups, those kind of things. Because there's probably the majority really of police work day-to-day involves that, or at least a significant component of it. So nerding out over here, but the numbers are interesting. You know, they can vary. Sometimes I mentioned at another meeting when the mayor asked was sometimes if we've had maybe a concern at a park or somebody's indicated, hey, we'd like to see the police more, we'll ask officers to log specific patrol checks. Log it when you go through Pritchard Farms, or log it when you go to Glendenning, or there was some vandalism here. So sometimes that can skew it a little bit too. But yeah, the numbers are very, very interesting.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you all, I appreciate it.
I think that's all the departments, so I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the mayor and commission reports.
Second.
It's been duly moved and seconded to approve the monthly reports of the city departments. Any further discussion among council on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Department reports are approved. Moving on then to item 8, Mr. Lindsay again.
All right, we'll take over for some combined sewer overflow monthly public hearings. Not too much actual work to report on, but mostly just scheduling updates for Phase 9D, which is the Center Street portion of the Phase 9 project. That will start in the summer. We're cognizant of the FSU students, and we want to try to do as much work as possible when they're not here. For Phase 8C, which is North Grant, that will start in the spring and then hopefully finish in the summer. For Phase 10A, that will restart here actually in about a week and should finish towards the end of this summer. And then for Phase 10B and 10C, for Phase 10B and 10C, it is complete in design. We anticipate taking it to bid in July. And then for both 10B and 10C, we are in the process of acquiring all of our sidewalk easement work. Again, both of those projects have sidewalks that will be happening. And then as a part of doing those sidewalks, we tend to have to go into people's yards to do some grading work. So Emily has been working quite diligently on lining all of those up and contacting homeowners and meeting with them to discuss the projects. So that has been happening. Other than that, it's mostly business as usual with the CSOs unless there's any questions.
Is Washington Street all done, or is there still paving to be done?
There's still paving to be done.
I thought so, okay,
Yep.
because there's a big
Yep.
step up to the
Yep.
sidewalk.
Yeah, we left it 2 inches low because we knew we would be doing tie-in work there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's going to be BNC going
Correct.
down through there too.
Correct.
So.
So unless there's any questions, that's all I have.
We will consider that the required monthly public hearing for the CSO under item 8. Moving on to item 9, old business. As far as we know, there is none. So then to item 10, new business. We'll call up resolution 2025-11.
All right, back to me. So all of these moving forward will be change orders to the Bureau of Mines building, and I just want to preface this by saying again, this is not our money. This is just we are managing the project, so we are going through our own procurement processes. So for resolution 2025-11, there are 3 change orders. One of them is for some underslab plumbing that was done. Oh, my apologies, it's up there. So the first was for underslab plumbing that was done. That's for the $4,798.65. The second one was for additional costs associated with a stormwater line that had to be tied in that was not a part of the original project. That's $7,500. And then the third one is actually a request from the owner. It is a scope and cost reduction. So they took some things out of the contract. So our contractor is giving us a $13,193.80 credit for that, and he's just taking out a portion of his work. If there are any questions, I'm happy to elaborate.
So they're having plumbing in the storage building?
Yeah, they have a bathroom and a janitor's closet.
Okay.
Yep. So if there are no questions, I would ask for a motion and a second on resolution 2025-11.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-11.
Second. Duly moved and seconded to approve resolution 2025-11. Any further discussion among council on that? You had me at not our money. Comment from the public on this resolution. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution 2025-11 approved. Resolution 2025-12.
All right, resolution 2025-12 is from Kaufman Metals. They did the building itself. In their original scope projection, they did not have wainscoting on the building. So they provided a change order cost of $450 for the wainscoting, and the Bureau of Mines owner said they would like that. So if there are any questions, I can elaborate. If not, I would ask for a motion in a second on 2025-12.
I move we approve Resolution 2025-12.
Second.
Duly moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2025-12. Further discussion among council. Any comment or discussion among the public? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution approved. Resolution 2025-13.
2025-13, this is from Daystar Builders. After the original bids were put in, the owner decided that they would like some additional hose bibs, one inside and one outside, and the cost associated with having to install that extra plumbing and the hose bibs from Daystar was $1,050. The owner wanted it, so we asked for the quote and went ahead with the work. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to elaborate. If not, I would ask for a motion in a second on 2025-13.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-13.
Second.
Duly moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2025-13. Further discussion among council. Comment or discussion among the public. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution 2025-13 approved.
Not
And-
many.
Resolution 2025-14.
All right, finally, so this is a combination of an award for a contract and a change order on that contract. So 2025-14 is with Stevens Electrical. The original contract price that they submitted was $22,725, again, for the Bureau of Mines building. And then through the process of going back and forth with the owner, they decided they wanted a few extra things, some 220-volt outlets, 240-volt outlets, my apologies, and then some heating units inside of the janitorial closet and the bathroom to keep things from freezing. That amount for the change order was $3,575. Again, not our money. If there are any questions, I am happy to elaborate as always. If not, I would ask for a motion in a second on 2025-14.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-14.
Second.
Duly moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2025-14. Further discussion among council on that. Just to clarify, this was not discussed at the March work session. It was discussed at a previous work session and did
Correct.
not make it onto the agenda for that meeting, correct?
It was discussed at the January work session and
Right.
just was left off in the form of a resolution.
Got it, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else among council? Anything among the public on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution 2025-14 is approved. Anything else under new business? Okay, we'll move on then to agenda item 11, open public comment. This is the time for Frostburg citizens and anyone in the general public to come offer your thoughts or comments. Anybody, ma'am? Anybody?
Tell us how wonderful we are.
Okay. If there's nothing under public comment, anything from Commissioner Carter? Commissioner Forsyth?
Watching the video.
Oh, yeah.
Go up and see the park was being put up at Glendenning Park, the playground, sorry.
Commissioner Grove?
Have nothing.
Commissioner Ritchie? Just two quick announcements. As Chief said, the Shamrock Shuffles this weekend. Please go out and support our local businesses, but please do so responsibly. Don't make fools out of yourselves. Don't do anything bad. Don't give the chief stuff to do because he'll be playing basketball.
There is no open container repeal, right? So you cannot have an open container.
That is, okay, so let's put that on the agenda then. So we have not passed open container repeal, so that is not something that is permitted within the business district or anywhere within the city.
I forgot, there is one more thing I'd like to.
Sure, of course.
What's the date? In April, there's going to be an energy savings day. Do you remember the date? I have it in here. It's going to be open to any Maryland resident. There will be people from various agencies who will have information and also applications for free or low-cost retrofitting, energy-saving appliances, all sorts of things for renters and homeowners, depending on income requirements and stuff like that, all kinds of stuff. So come along and bring your friends. Pardon?
April 3rd.
Thank you, April 3rd. So.
Okay, very good. One last thing, just so that it's on the record, I want to go on the record of welcoming Dr. Darlene Smith, the new president of Frostburg State University. They had a welcome ceremony for her last week. She's been here for 8 days, and she's a great addition to town, and we're certainly glad to have her, and the city looks forward to continuing to work with FSU on everything that we do. Okay, anything else? Last chance. Go once, go twice. Meeting adjourned.